Man, this was a finale! Let's talk about this! Woo! Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to KRS TV. This is your boy Kenny, and this is the Haves and the Have-Nots Season 7, Episode 11. And the name of this episode is Out of Time, and this is the mid-season finale. Yo, that ending, I was like, I told y'all asses. I knew it. But, let me begin. So, the episode picked up where it left off. Candace has already left, and Hannah is still praising the Lord, because they had this really tender moment, between mother and daughter. And Benny is there, for support. And, she kind of gets herself together, and she's like, well, I got to go check on Derek. I just left him in the kitchen or whatever. And then, like, Benny still being an asshole was like, well, shoot, you need to tell him to leave. And he was like, I wonder if, God, the Lord heard me about him. And she's like, honey, you really talking about something you prayed about Derek? Child, please. I'm like, cause Benny full of shit. But she tells him leave that man alone or whatever. And she goes to ask him, is he okay? Just give her a second and she'll be all right. And we can kind of hear, because I didn't hear that he was crying, but I can hear he was kind of choked up. Like, because one of my people in this group that I'm on Facebook, they were saying that Derek was crying. I didn't hear he was crying, but it turns out he actually was. But I did hear that, yeah, he did sound like something was up. And he was like, okay. So I was like, this shit's gonna get interesting. Because I'm like, his ass was in there doing, and I said this on the last review that I did for this show, that his ass was up in the kitchen doing them dishes and probably heard that whole fucking conversation. So we're gonna keep moving. So after Hannah leaves, Benny gets a call, and it's Mitch. And Mitch is letting Benny know you still owe that interest on that money, And he's like, well, how am I gonna get $20,000? And Mitch was like, dude, that's your problem. And it is your problem, Benny, because nobody told your stupid, simple ass to borrow money from the mob. And then you give it back. Idiot. So, but Mitch tells him that, look, you need to stay your ass in the house, and I will try my best to work this out. But I'm going to let you know, if I pull a miracle and I take care of this situation for you, you owe me. And I'm like, you damn right, Mitch. Make Benny's stupid ass pay up, because Benny's stupid ass had no business doing that crap in the first place. After you warned him not to get in business with your family. So then we get a scene. Candace goes back to the Artesian to meet up with Charles. They have this very tender moment. You can just see that she's smiling. She's happy. And they have this very good moment. They go back and forth. And she tells him that you were right. And he was like, oh, I'm right. I like that. I'm like, you narcissistic asshole. Like, Charles is so damn narcissistic, and let's just say your narcissism is about to flip you on your ass. So let me keep it moving. So therefore so pretty much they kind of talk back and forth. She lets him know that, all this time she thought her mother hated her. And, Charles tells her, like, I know she didn't hate you. Like, because he met Hannah, and he can definitely tell that she don't hate her daughter. She just hates the shit she does. And then she also tells him that she left little Q's ashes with her as well. So, and then, and he pretty much tells her that he's proud of her and everything. And then he was saying that, so you better get ready. She's like, ready for what? She's like, for DC. And she was like, okay, fine. It won't take me long to get ready. He was like, now you need to stop lying. It takes you women forever to get ready. And she was like, oh no, honey, I got this natural beauty. It won't take me that long. I'm like, that's right. You better walk in that. Walk in that because your mother planted that in you. So we're seeing that, Hannah's words are still ringing true, that she's a natural beauty. And Candace is a natural beauty. Candace is gorgeous. But then she asks him, are you sure you want me to go with you? And he was like, oh yeah, positively. I want you there with me. And I'm like, okay. We about to see shit go down. So then we go to Veronica and her crazy ass. This bitch storms in the house calling for Alice. I'm like, bitch, did you forget that Alice quit and she's suing your ass for making her work in a hostile environment? Like, bitch crazy as shit. She calling Alice because she just so mad and paranoid that she out of control with it. And she pours herself a drink. David goes in and she's like, go away, David, go away. I don't want you here. And he's like, girl, if you didn't want me here, you wouldn't have left the door open. Like, you knew I was coming after you. Because she just doing the most. And then she was saying that that's why you brought me back. You wanted me back because you wanted me on your side. And he's telling him I had no idea about Wyatt. And it's true. He didn't find out about Wyatt until Jim called him about it. But then we just see that damn, paranoia sitting. He was like, look, just sit down. She's like, not there, and not over there either, talking about the couch and the chair in her living room. She's like, because that's where you hit me and I fell to the floor. And you said that you would never lay hands on me. And I told you about how he beat me and you hit me anyway. And I'm like, who, bitch? Who was beating your ass? I'm like, yeah, because remember, like, after he hit her ass, it knocked her back to her childhood in the way. She was like, Mama, he hit me. He hit me. Mama, he hit me. And I'm like, oh, bitch. Ooh. So, yeah, there's some shit in her past. I wonder who was she talking about? Who was beating that ass? Because whoever fucked you up in more ways than one. And then she starts talking about, like, yeah, why do you want to do this? Why do you want me back? I mean, I killed both of your whores. And she's just, like, twisting that knife or whatever. And then she asks him, are you wearing a wire? And he was like, no. And she's like, let me see. He says, I can't. I'm bandaged up. And he pulls up his shirt to show that he's got this cast where he has to get where he has bandages and shit. And he's trying to tell her, like, look, I'm not the same. Let's talk. Let's sit down and talk. She's like, I'm not sitting out here. She's like, okay, fine. We can go outside and talk by the pool. So, and I was just kind of saying, like, David, you better take control. You better play that damn role. But we can kind of see that he is fighting to keep up that character because she really is doing the most. And then all of a sudden we get the scene where Landon and Charles is ready for Candace. Candace come out that room in that blue dress. Candace looked like a bag of money. She looked gorgeous. And I'm like, so this is going to be interesting. So he's like, you ready for DC? So then after that, they go back to Veronica and David. They're sitting at the pool. And she's just saying, I'm not okay. I'm like, bitch, we knew you weren't okay from the moment we met you. But it's nice to know that you're saying that you're not okay. And then David's like, well, talk to me. And she was like, you're just using me to help with this case. And he was saying that, look, you know you're brilliant. And we all know you're brilliant. Especially when it comes down to law. But that's not the reason why I did this. And then she was saying that, look, just listen to me. She was like, oh, no, you hear me. Simple bitch. Remember when you called that? Like, this bitch started having a serious PTSD moment up in this bitch. She going back to old shit, bringing up when he called her a simple bitch. And that's because you are. But, and then all of a sudden, and then, like, And then he was like saying that, look, I'm sorry about that, but you're the only woman I want to be with. And but he says, but you showed me. She was like, yes, I did. And then she was saying that I got two things to tell you. One, I hired that girl Erica to fall in love with you. Yeah, I paid her to fall in love with you and to mess with your head, and she was good, wasn't she? Mm-hmm. And then I'm just like saying that, wow, you could kind of see in this scene that David is really fighting to keep that face up, because she is literally taking the knife and turning it, And she was like, yeah, yeah. She's like, so you angry with me? And then she was saying that, then he's like saying that, yeah, because you can see that he's in pain too because of the injury. But she's saying that, yeah, the pain is a reminder of, of everything. And she was like, yeah. And it's also a reminder that you never fuck over the first wife. And I was like, oh, bitch, you is really doing the most right now. And then she says that, yeah, we can sit and talk at the pool, because that living room, I will never sit there again. I can't. But then he says that he has to go to check on his bandages or whatever, and that he'll come back later and they can finish talking. So he goes outside, and that's when he broke character. He's like, you bitch, you evil bitch. And then he calls Jim, and he's like, Jim, I need you to talk me down, because I want to go back in there and end this shit. He's like, David, we need her. And he's like, you need to hold it together. You need to leave, get you a drink, and do what you got to do to keep her on our side, because the DA office, I'm still waiting to see back what they're about to do. So we need Veronica on our team. So he's like, yeah, okay, fine. So he's like, yeah, go home and take care of that. So then we get a scene at the house now with Jim. We get a scene with Catherine. Catherine goes, through her things and notices that her pills are gone. And I'm like, and you know where the pills went? To that junky ass son of yours. So she pretty much goes downstairs. Jim is watching television, and she was like, you really would watch television at a time like this? And he was like, yeah, I'm looking on television to see if there's anything that's going to be said about the case, and so I want to know what George's plan is. And she tells him, Wyatt has took my pain meds as well as my cold meds. And she was like, well, why would you have that kind of stuff in the house? And she's like, because I live with a pain in the ass. I'm like, Catherine was giving it. She's always giving it. I was like, wow. And then all of a sudden, she ends up walking off, and she's like, you need to handle this, Jim, like for real. And then all of a sudden, before he gets up, it starts reporting on the news about Charles meeting with the president and Candace Young, his new girlfriend. So now they on TV being talked about, and like Jim just sitting back, he was like, oh really, girl? Huh. Shit, that is not gonna work out, honey. It ain't gonna work out at all. And I'm like, oh shit. So all of a sudden we see that afterwards Jim goes upstairs and confronts Wyatt. Well, actually, no, that's not what he does. He calls Wyatt downstairs, and Wyatt comes down there. And then they kind of sit, Wyatt sits down, and they kind of go back and forth with each other. And he says that, look, this situation is ugly. And he's like, you did it to yourself. He's like, no, you did this to yourself by calling the DA. And then he asks, are you high? And then all of a sudden, Oh, so that didn't happen yet. So he asked him, have you been in your mother's stash, you little shit? I was like, oh damn, Jim is getting really up to here with Wyatt. But I'm like, why don't you put him some fucking where? Why are you keeping him in the house? And then you getting mad at Catherine that, you know, why do you keep this in the house? I'm like, bitch, that's normal things you would keep in the house is your medicine. You ain't thinking that a motherfucker gonna come and take all your shit, but damn, but then again, you got a junkie for a fucking son. And he's just, and I have to say, that motherfucker Wyatt was really pissing me off, because he was just being all smug and was being real cocky, like, it is what it is. I'm like, really, dude? Because in his mind, he thinking he running this situation, but bruh, yeah, so shit just really got crazy with that. So he pretty much asks, and he pretty much says that, look, I am sick and tired of this shit. So he pretty much blows off Jim and goes back upstairs to his room or whatever. And then all of a sudden, you know, Catherine comes into the room with them and pretty much says that this is my bottle of Valium. It's empty. And oh, wait a minute. That actually happened downstairs. She also, before he went upstairs, he, I think Catherine, exposed the fact that he also took all of her Valiums. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers crazy. Y'all need to put Wyatt in a goddamn facility somewhere and let him get some treatment, because that's where he needs to be. Not there tweaking like he's tweaking. What the fuck you think he gonna do? He gonna grab the first thing he can get high on. Shit. It may get to the point he may start sniffing, fumes or whatever he can find. I mean, the guy's a junkie. It is what it is. So then he pretty much tells Jim he can go to hell, and he was like, you really want me to beat your ass, don't you? And then all of a sudden we see that once he gets in the room and he finds out that Catherine, that he took all of Catherine's Valiums, he gets like a toothbrush and literally tries to force it down Wyatt's throat to make him throw up. And then all of a sudden he's like, I hate you. I hate you so much that it makes my heart bleed. And then damn Jim is like, and I love you so much that it makes my heart bleed. Because we do know he loved his kids. He loved Amanda and he loves Wyatt, but he's a horrible fucking parent. Obviously. Him and Catherine. They're horrible fucking parents, but they do love their kids. And then he was saying that, I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to shoot you. And he was like, you know what? I would like to see that for one time in your miserable ass life. That would be the one time you would do something. That'll be the one time you actually did something and actually stood by it. I'm waiting to see it, Wyatt. I'm waiting to see it. And then all of a sudden, they leave the room. And then all of a sudden he's boom, boom, die. Boom, boom, die. I'm like, oh, fuck. You got a fucking crazy ass junkie and you got a rifle loaded up. Because he had mentioned, like, I'm going to get the shotgun and I'm going to shoot you. And she's like, what shotgun? The shotgun that's in the basement that used to belong to your daddy, Miss Catherine. Yeah, you got a loose cannon in the house. So he may pull out that gun and may do some crazy shit. So, if anything, he really going to want to go after Jim because Jim won't let him get what he wants. So we're going to have to see how that's going to play out. But that shit was crazy. Then, we get a scene with Hannah and Benny. He's still saying that he don't want Derek there, and she says that don't be good in there bothering that man. Like, is he okay? And he's like, yeah, I saw him in the kitchen kind of staring into space, and it kind of looks like he was crying. I'm like, didn't I tell y'all? But yeah, just wait. I'm getting there. So he starts going back and forth, and he's like saying, like, look, Mom, I don't like this dude. And she was like, Benny, when have you ever liked any man I dated? He's like, well, what about Harold? Harold was cool. And she was like, man, me and Harold weren't dating. And he was like, so what you saying, Ma? I'm like, probably the dude was just getting it in. It wasn't nothing serious, you dumbass. Like, shit, your mother got to have a life too, bruh. I know your son, you're her son, and you want to protect your mother. But at the end of the day, your mother's a grown ass woman, and you a grown ass fucking man. You need to let your mother have a life. Selfish bastard. Anyway, but then he was like, you know, but then he was saying that, well, the thing is, I really don't care for this dude, and she was like, then don't. But then he was like, but mom, on all everything serious, I really wish I could find that dude that did that to you back in the day. And she was like, look, that man is either dead or in jail. Men, you know, people like that don't win in life. And I'm like, if only you knew, honey. It's possibly he's right down there in your motherfucking kitchen. And I'm gonna get to that. So then we see that Candace and Charles arrive at the White House. They're in the Oval Office waiting for the president. And the damn secretary was real short with him, saying that, well, he is the new president. She was like, president-elect. Meaning he got elected. He ain't the president yet. Yeah, because he hasn't been sworn in. So, but she had to let it be known, president-elect. I'm like, oh, y'all motherfuckers don't like the fact that there's a black president and y'all administration's out the door. Because, you know, you can definitely tell that this administration was on some serious, you know, Republican shit, you know, meaning kind of like some of the same shit that Trump's on. And, you know, the good old party, the grand old party, you know. So you definitely got that feel from them. And then Landon even clocked it. He was like, I don't like this. You know, they just sit us up in here like this. You know, they don't even give us the tour of the White House and all of that. Because Landon knows politics, and he's like, they always give the new president-elect and his first lady a tour of the White House. They just sat them in the office and told them to wait for the president to show up. So Landon is clocking like, this shit ain't sitting well with me. And then Charles is just real cool with it, like, man, it is what it is. Won't you kind of go somewhere and cool down, Landon? It's gonna be alright. And then you gotta get this thing going on between Candace and Charles. And I was just saying to myself, this shit is too damn sweet. Something is about to happen. Something is going down. And next thing you know, we the president and his first lady comes in, and yeah, and like they would. Now I clocked this, but I want to hear from y'all. Like, weren't they kind of giving you George H.W. Bush and Barbara Bush tease? Because that's exactly what I got from that. I'm like, you know, she had the white hair just like Barbara Bush and all that shit. So it's kind of like the Bushes versus the Obamas. It was kind of that situation, you know. And, you know, and then all of a sudden they pretty much, you know, introduce each other and all that. And, you know, when the first lady was introduced to Candace, she was like, oh no, this ain't gonna work. And she was like, excuse me? She's like, she is too beautiful and she's coming back after me? I ain't having that. And I was like, yeah, because she's a natural black beauty, bitch. Black don't crack. Get into it. Okay, so we saw that go down. And then we get this bullshit. Now, Tyler, I'm going to need you to end this situation. But then again, you gave me enough tonight and I was here for it. Because I said, if his ass goes into that house, he ain't going to be able to walk out that bitch. And sure enough, Jeffrey with his dumb, simple ass goes into the house with Glenn Close. And, you know, he also notices that there's all these pictures of him on the wall. And he was like, how did you get these pictures of me? And he was like, I always take pictures of you. And she's like, but I didn't even know you were around. I'm like, What the fuck you think you was dealing with, Jeffrey? Do you really think that when his ass wasn't around you, he still wasn't following you and doing all this extra shit? I'm like, Jeffrey's a fucking idiot. And then all of a sudden, we definitely can kind of see in that moment his wheels started turning. But I'm like, bitch, you already in there. It's too late. And I already said either one of them could go at this point. But I think, yeah, it's going to end with one of them being dead. I don't know which one, but at this point, I don't care because both of them are getting on my nerves. So he was saying that, won't you drink some wine? And he was hesitant to drink the wine. I'm like, oh no, boo-boo. You came all the way there, wanting to defend you defended him against Madison. You talk cash shit to your dad defending him and shit. But you don't want to drink the wine. Why? But I'm thinking, yeah, he kind of knew that probably, that Justin probably did something to that wine. And then all of a sudden he was saying that, well, I didn't have any chance to make dinner, but we can go out or whatever. But then he was like, no dinner, no wine. I just came here to see if you were okay. You dumb motherfucker. You knew he was okay when you saw him at the fucking hospital. You knew he was okay when you talked to him on the phone. You knew he was okay when he snuck up on you after you got off the phone with Wyatt's ass and you kind of was debating whether you was going to go in or not. You already know he fucking okay. So why the fuck did you go in the house then? Like, I just came to see if you was okay. And then again, I'm thinking, like, now I see why Glenn Close kind of flipped out. Like, she's like, bitch, I thought you came in here because you wanted to see our place and you was ready to, be this, couple that I know that we're supposed to be in her mind. Because, Glenn Close is psychotic, and it's just like Jeffrey is still on that bullshit. I just came to see if you was okay. Bitch, get the fuck out of here. You already knew he was okay, but your punk ass like it, and you wanted to go over there because you love the drama. But you about to get some drama for your motherfucking ass tonight, Jeffrey, and you deserve every damn thing you get. And I ain't taking the shit back either. So y'all can be mad at me if you want to, but I'm serious with this shit. Jeffrey deserves every damn thing he gets. So then he's saying that, and he still kept trying to get him to drink the wine, and he was like, come on, drink some wine. It makes the sex better. And won't you try out the couch? It actually pulls out. We can have a lot of fun on that. I'm like, oh, Glenn Close just getting her life. She just think, oh, I got my man here, and she ain't leaving. And he ain't leaving me. He's gonna stay. Shit. And then he's pretty much saying that, but he was saying that, look, Jeffrey, why don't you relax? I'm the one that got beat up, not you. I'm like, the bitch scared because she know you crazy as cat shit. And now she put herself in a situation where she ain't in control. Then all of a sudden she was like, this is a bad idea. I should go. The place is nice. And he was like, it's our place. Our place is nice. I'm like, why the fuck you go over there, Jeffrey? But okay. And then and then he's saying that, come on, you just gonna leave? I got beat up because of you. And then Jeffrey's like, this is getting old. This guilt trip you kept putting me through. I can't deal with this anymore. And as soon as his ass about to leave, this motherfucker takes the damn wine bottle, cracks, and it was like, you see what you're making me do? I was like, oh, Glenn Close. Ooh. I was like, uh-huh. This is exactly what you get. And all of a sudden, he's trying to talk him down. And he's saying that I don't want to live unless I'm with you. I want to kill myself. And I'm like, woo. And he's saying, don't hurt yourself. He's like, well, then stay. I'm like, yeah, bitch. You went inside the house, so you get what you get. I don't give a fuck. You deserve, you are getting exactly what you deserve. And that's where they left it. And I was like, that's going to be some shit. Then we get a scene with the FBI. Now, the FBI, this crew of the FBI actually is working with the current administration. So, and they're crooked as shit. And then, you know, old boy comes in and tells Kyle that she's at the White House right now. And he's like, "Are you serious? This is getting better and better." He's like, "Yeah, let me go here and break this up." He's like, No. We can actually have fun with this situation." So he's like, "Okay, I got an idea." So Cal calls the president, you know, and it turns out that he is, it turns out that old boy is, he's also the attorney general. So him and the president are like that. They talk all the time. So yeah, so they talk. He's talking to the president on the phone, and the president's talking cash shit about Charles, that he's an arrogant asshole. And Charles is arrogant, and I've said time and time again, he's very narcissistic. So he's getting that about him. He said that, you know, "But I want to tell you something. You know, you see his date that he brought? Yeah, I want you to say something to her. Well, I want you to tell her that she's a hot piece of black ass. Yeah, she's a prostitute. Yeah, we know all about it. So yeah, so he's like, "Yeah, let's shake things up." And then all of a sudden he was saying that, yeah, he pretty much tells old boy, "Go to Savannah and you find everything you can on her, cause we about to shut their asses down." And I'm like, ooh. So yeah, as I said, that whole DC situation was going too smooth, and something was about to pop off. But then we get the reveal. Something that I suspected was gonna happen. Hannah goes in there to check on Derek. Derek is crying his eyes out. And she's like, "Oh my God, what's going on? What's the matter? It's okay." And then he begins to lift up his shirt, and he reveals the lion tattoo. And immediately, Hannah falls apart. And it's like, I was like, damn! What a way to end this fucking mid-season. I'm like, wow. So now it has been confirmed that Derek was the one who raped Hannah, and he's Candace's father. So when she get back and find out that shit, woo, that's gonna be some shit. Like, so there is so much that is going down, and I have to say this was a good finale, and I'm so here for everything that's about to transpire when this show comes back, and I look forward to it. But that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the mid-season premiere of the Have and the Have-Nots. So until then, everybody, take care.